From City Hall to the digital space, attorney Regal Oliva has built a name as a seasoned lawyer and a widely followed vlogger with over 1 million supporters online. Known for her sharp insights on governance, social issues, and policies, she also made history as the first transgender woman to lead the Cebu Lady Lawyers Association. What drives her to keep breaking barriers while finding new ways to reach and inspire people? Joining us is Cebuana lawyer and vlogger, attorney Regal Oliva. Good morning, attorney Regal.
It's nice to be here. It's nice to see you again after a decade or so.
I know. The first time I met you was in University of San Carlos. Yes.
I was a student in the University of San Carlos. I introduced you as our guest speaker.
Yes, oo nga. At saka professor pa rin ako at that time. Up to now, I'm still a professor, pero ang tanda ko na pala talaga.
No, not at all. You did not age a bit, I have to
talaga?
say. And you were one of the most popular lady lawyers at the time because you were fresh from the impeachment of former Chief
Oo nga,
Justice.
tagal na nun, no?
Yes,
It's
that
been 13 years.
Amazing
Yeah.
you until now.
Well, let's go to you, and we want to get to know you better as the grandchild of former Mandaue Judge Alejandro Mendoza and the daughter of City Treasurer of Toledo, Ofelia Mendoza Oliva.
Yeah.
How much did they influence you in your career choice?
Of course. Foremost, I'll start with my mom because I was city treasurer first before I became a lawyer.
So nauna kang ma-influence ng mom mo?
Exactly. I would have wanted to become a fashion designer. That was my dream.
Bagay. And you're so fashionable. Look at
Thank
the
you.
way you dress,
That was my dream. But then my mom just placed me in government, and she said that, you know, your talent in public service is better off there. And I followed her footsteps as treasurer. And she's not only treasurer of Toledo. She started off as assistant treasurer of Mandaue City, and she transferred to Dumaguete, then Cebu, then Tacloban, then she went to Pasay City, and then Calamba, and then San Fernando, Pampanga. She's everywhere. Her retirement city was Toledo. And she's an amazing treasurer. I would have to say, until now, nobody can beat Ofelia Oliva when it comes to treasury operations in local government units. And of course, my grandfather is a judge and a very respected judge in Mandaue City. So he also influenced me to become a lawyer.
Ba, talagang at least napasaya mo sila. Pareho mong
course,
finalo yung
of
path
course,
nila. But
that's true.
you were city treasurer also in Cebu? At
In
some
Mandaue,
point?
in Mandaue.
Sa Mandaue. So, totoo ba na nagkaroon kayo ng away ni former Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia in the past over
No,
taxes?
I wouldn't say away, ha? I was doing my job. She was also doing her job as governor. But then the story revolved around the Cebu International Convention Center. It was newly built. And then she passed it on. The management of the CICC was passed on to a private agency. And that's why, as city treasurer, I collected taxes from them, knowing pretty well that once you pass on any government institution or any government property to a proprietary entity, then that's taxable. Not with the local, not with the real property taxes, but especially with the business taxes because they're operating it in a private entity. But Governor Garcia did not take it lightly that the CICC was taxed because management was really with the province of Cebu. And so there was a conflict there with me and Governor Garcia, but of course we mend it as always.
How bad did it get? Did you fight
Well,
publicly? Kasi alam na mo.
It went huge because it was in the headlines for how many days?
Nagsasagutan kayo
Yes.
through the media. Siguro pag ini-interview ka, tapos i-interview mo
Correct,
siya.
and it became headlines. And of course, Mayor Cortez, who was a very gentle mayor, no, gentleman, and he said na he gave me a gag order. Please stop fighting back.
Para matapos na. Okay. Sino una nakipagbate? Or sino nag-approach?
Of course, it was me. She's the governor of Cebu.
Oo. So
naman.
eventually, pinuntahan mo
Of
siya to,
course,
to
oo.
just mend. And,
Yes.
Okay, you were also the chief of staff of Alfredo Bejo Romualdez in Tacloban for 7 years.
Yes. When he was mayor of Tacloban City, he's the father of Alfred Romualdez, who's the current mayor now. When he was mayor, I was his chief of staff, and that really taught me a lot. Because when you're a chief of staff of the mayor, you don't only concentrate with the treasury operations, but with the whole city, local government operations, and it goes grassroots. And then that's why it made me so enshrined with what's going on in the whole situation of a local government unit. And so when I transferred to Mandaue City, as city treasurer, I also can suggest to the mayor what is the best project or program to be funded because I've already experienced being chief of staff.
Yeah, so ang dami mo na palang naging experience
yes, exactly, in government.
sa government. But what was the incident that pushed you to enter law school? Is it true that it had something to do with the death of your father and your best friend on the same year?
Yeah, in 2009, Attorney Karen, sadly, my father was sick with cancer and my best friend was also sick with a chronic renal failure. And I took care of them in the hospital. And so that was also the time when I transferred to Mandaue City as assistant treasurer. And being assistant treasurer, not a lot of obligations are in your shoulder when it comes to your job there. So I asked permission from our city treasurer then that if I can enroll law school because it was very near the hospital.
So strategic then.
Correct.
You can be a working student.
Exactly. So I worked with government. I took care of them in the hospital and I studied law school in the evening. But when they passed away, it was just 1 month lang talaga ang pagitan nila sa when they passed on.
Sakit naman.
Sakit, masakit. I promised to them that I will be a lawyer and I'll make you proud.
Nakaiba ka naman mag-cope with grief. Yung iba, maglalabas, iinom ikaw,
But you
baliktad
know, law school,
nag-aral.
Attorney Karen, we know that law school, you can forget grief.
Totoo. You have no time to
You
grieve.
don't have time for
Oo,
despair. You
totoo.
don't have time for love life.
Yeah,
Wala na.
that's true.
Yeah, because, and I think that was the best coping mechanism that I've had in law school because I forget to cry anymore because I need to study.
That's true. And you're just reading morning till night.
Yes.
Napapanaginipan ko nga minsan yung mga recitation at yung mga exams. But
Di ba napaka-terrorizing ng law school, especially with some professors, that, you know, wala kang karapatan magsadsad. Wala na. You just have to forget it, move on. And I did not know that, you know, 5 years have passed and I became a lawyer.
That's great. Pero buti na lang. And at least you've made your dad proud.
Oh, yes,
May question
of course.
ako, in terms of being transgender, you have made a milestone of being one. You're very famous, but also as a transgender woman, you're leading a whole lawyers association in Cebu.
Yeah.
At what point ka nag-transition?
Okay, I have to say, siguro transition kasi is, it's really in the mind.
Yeah, okay.
But the expression happens not overnight. It happens gradually. And the transition of my expression really happened siguro in college. But when I really wanted to express myself as a woman, and there in Silliman University, I even founded the Basilban Society, which is bakla ng Silliman lumalaban.
Oh, wow!
Yes, and
Sa UP Babaylan,
exactly.
Di ba? Oo.
And I have to say, Representative Percy Sendenia was my partner in forming that organization. And that's why, because I needed to have a space, a safe space, and so that people would understand what we're dealing with. Because among the LGBT community, it's the transgender who has the biggest struggle. Because we transition in the eyes of so many people. And that's why it's important that they would understand our predicament.
Yeah. And yung parents mo, okay, natanggap nila agad yun?
No. It took me a long time. I cannot wear makeup in the house, Attorney Karen. Especially my dad, when my dad was alive, you know, it sometimes becomes a reason for my dad and mom to quarrel because my dad would say, because he's so influenced with your makeup, that's why. Mga ganon. And so that's why it took us a long time. But my siblings were the most supportive.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
So by the time your dad passed away, natanggap niya na? Or
Yeah,
nasabi mo,
natanggap na niya.
Naka-transition
Super.
ka na by then?
Yes, it was my dad who was more accepting than my mom.
Talaga? Sa pag-transition?
Yes. My dad was more supportive. He even bought me the wrong shades of makeup.
Pero ang cute naman.
But that's how he was so supportive of me.
And let's go to another aspect of your life. Bakit ka napunta sa vlogging?
Oh, vlogging. I ran for Congress in Mandaue City this past elections. And we all know that how influential or how big a scope vlogging can be for politicians. But I did not know how to vlog because it was not my daytime job. But my mom, during the impeachment proceedings of Vice President Sara Duterte, wanted me to explain to her what impeachment is all about. Why did this happen? Because in the previous impeachments, there were hearings, there were debates in the plenary, but in this kind of impeachment, there was none. And so she asked me, is this legal? She has so many questions. And so I said, I will explain it to you because I was out of town. I'll explain it to you. I'll send you a video. And so I told my chief of staff, can you make me a video? Just take a video of me explaining the impeachment process and everything, what will happen and all. So I made that video and she edited it in a way that's so beautiful. And I said,
Mama ang nag-edit?
No, not my chief of staff.
My chief of staff mo. Okay.
She edited it in a way that was so amazing. And so you post that in my page because it's nice. My mom wouldn't mind. And so that happened, and it took it by storm. And I said, after that, let's make another vlog. And you know, I'm not saying it's addicting. It's just that I'm reaching more to people, and I felt that I'm reaching out to voters as well because I was running for Congress. And when I lost the congressional seat in Mandaue City, I said, I think I have to continue this advocacy because there are a lot of people who do not know the law. And it seems to me, I never knew this, that it seems to me that through these vlogs, I can make them understand the law better in a layman's term, in a way that the CD people, the people in the CD market can understand and can say, oh, this is the law. Oh, this is how it is being interpreted by quoting the Supreme Court as well.
So now that you are a vlogger, meron ka bang dream collaboration?
Oh my goodness. I already am in a dream being interviewed by Atty. Karen Jimeno. I don't know.
Wala ka pang
I did
naisip?
not even look into collaborations. No.
So far, ano ang pinaka-most watched vlog mo?
I cannot remember. My team are with it, but I cannot remember. But I think of all the vlogs as equal because I exert also the same effort in every kind of vlog.
Matrabaho siya, ha?
Matrabaho because I do the research. I have an editor, I have a video editor, I have a team, but then the research, you know, that's what's most difficult, to make it short. Because we as lawyers, we make pleadings the longest, di ba? The more pages, the better.
Yeah.
But how to make it very short, to make it less than a minute, to make it less than 2 minutes, because we all know that the attention span of people watching the social media is so short.
Yeah. So pinaka-active ka saan? TikTok or Facebook?
You know, I'm active with TikTok and Facebook, but me as a user, I'm more on Facebook.
You know, so the White House started their own TikTok na.
I understand.
Kaka-start
I
lang,
heard
yeah.
that.
Well,
and you know, when I went to TikTok, my daughter was saying, Dada, why are you in TikTok? That's
ay,
mine.
You have a daughter. Ang cute naman.
Yeah.
Okay, so dahil kulang na tayo sa time, we'll do your Regal POV na vlog dito sa At the Forefront.
Okay.
Dahil sabi mo, kailangan short, iiklian natin lahat ng tanong namin, very short answers lang. Okay, so, just short thoughts straight from Regal POV. Okay, let's start. 1, political dynasties. Should they stay or should they go? What's the Regal POV?
They should go. Section 26, Article 2 of the Constitution is very clear that dynasties should be prohibited in the country by operation of law. In other words, our Congress, we're waiting for you to stop political dynasty. It should go because this breeds influence, wealth breeds influence, influence breeds votes, votes again breeds wealth. And I think it's a cycle that positions have become inherited in this country, and we have to stop that.
Okay, see, ang galing. You've mastered the art of making it very short. Social media trolls. Siguro naranasan mo to. Fight them, ignore them, or engage them. What's the Regal
Fight
POV?
them, ignore them, or engage them. 3. We have to do the 3. We cannot just ignore them. Trolls are there to stay, and sometimes we have to fight them because so that people would also know the truth. Because there are times that when trolls go beyond, especially in personal life, and we have to fight them, especially when they touch your family, when they touch the personal side of your of your life. But trolls, we all know that they will stay and they will fight to the end until they get you. And that's why we have to be strong, especially in social media.
Okay, very well said and good advice. Okay, federalism versus presidential system. The Regal POV says what on this issue?
Presidential system, we've experienced that. I think we're ready for federalism. Our country is very much separated by regions, by language, and by culture. And I think that the imperialist Manila should be abolished and that other regions should stay strong, and thus federalism should be given a chance in this country. And taxes should be equally subdivided to these regions as well.
Okay. Divorce bill in the Philippines, time to pass or not? What's the Regal POV?
Time to pass the divorce bill. There are a lot of women and men being abused by their partners. And that is why it is timely that for the sake of sanity of children, for the sake of the sanity of the partners, divorce bill shall be passed into law.
Okay. Influencers entering politics, good for democracy or risky for governance? What's the Regal POV?
Influencers have really settled the playing field when it comes to politics. We've seen the Tulfo brothers entering into the highest houses of Congress and Senate already, and they were influencers then. And I believe that if we elect people who have credentials and who have had experiences in governance, your being an influencer does not matter unless you have the heart to serve the public.
Okay, very well said. Lastly, AI and the future of law. Will technology replace or enhance lawyers? What's the Regal POV?
Oh my God, Attorney Karen, you know, I was handling a case on labor and then I fed both cases to AI and it made a very sound judgment. So I would say the future of the lawyers in AI is, I would say, not threatened because lawyering is a skill. And if you have the skill to become a good lawyer, do not worry about the AI. Use AI as your friend. Use it wisely because it can help you in your profession. Make it easier, but then you should also use AI in a sense that it will help other people and you as well.
Okay,
Continue the
tamang
advocacy.
advice. Oo. Kasi meron actually nagkaroon recently ng case where the Supreme Court reprimanded a lawyer for using AI and lumabas mali-mali, pati yung mga kinukote niya supposedly from
That's
a case
why.
did not exist. So that's why hindi ka pwedeng tamad naman.
Exactly,
I-feed mo lang lahat
exactly.
tapos cut and paste mo.
True. You have to
Oo.
really, you know, what the AI says, you have to research it back if it's correct and everything. Because in fairness of the AI, it helps you with grammar, it helps you with making it short. But because I have to admit, even in my research, in my doing my POV, I use AI. I feed my very long research, like my 20-minute speech,
Tapos
and then
pinapareduce mo sa
I
kanya.
just make it, can you make it into 2 minutes?
Oo.
And that's the beauty of AI.
Okay, so for those listening, kahit hindi lang lawyers, ibang profession, you can use it as your friend.
Correct.
Okay, so according to an article in Sunstar Cebu, you were triggered to run for Congress because you were being transferred to Navotas City. Meron bang katotohanan to?
That's true. A letter from there was a letter that was received by the Department of Finance, signed by the Speaker of the House, Martin Romualdez, requesting me to be transferred or to be removed by Mandaue City as treasurer.
Bakit si
triggered
Speaker
me.
Martin Romualdez ang nag-sign? I mean, ano ang pakialam niya sa Mandaue City?
The probable mayor who won these elections, the probable mayor was his brother-in-law, and they want me removed from Mandaue City. They felt that I was more close to the previous mayor, which is not true. But what happened was that this is a cycle already. This happened with my mom previously as well, after the EDSA revolution, and that's why my mom transferred into Dumaguete City. And I said, you know, enough is enough. You can't do this to my family anymore. And so that's why I gave them an opposition in the party. I may not have won the elections, but I gave them a very good opposition, and I gave them also a tangible opponent last election.
So ikaw lang ang tumakbo against
Yes.
the incumbent.
Yes.
Tatakbo ka pa ba sa 2028?
I'm not closing my doors.
2028?
I'm not closing my doors when it comes to public service. It's a passion of mine, so
Well,
anything can
technically, you have
happen.
been in public service for many years by being
Yes.
city treasurer.
Exactly.
So, you are also open about your relationship with Barangay Councilor Marco Sanchez.
He's here.
He's here. Ang bait, ang supportive. Okay, so how much support did you give each other during the election?
Without him, I couldn't have passed the elections. I couldn't have gone through it. Attorney Karen, I never knew elections could have been so very hard. No, ang hirap pala talaga ng election. That's why salute to all the politicians who work properly for elections, because it's a very draining endeavor.
Yeah.
And that is why my partner really was there at my back and beside me as well. So I thank him for all of that.
Well, you mentioned a daughter kanina, natawag sa'yo Dada. So,
Dada.
kanino anak yun? Anak niyo ba ito ni
No.
Councilor?
I adopted Rain in 2006. And this is a very funny story. Funny now, but when I adopted her, I simulated her birth certificate.
Aba, admitting in public.
Yes,
Oh.
okay. 2006, I simulated birth certificate. I never knew it was a crime. But in 2009, when I enrolled in law school,
Na-realize mo it's a crime pala.
the first
Oo.
subject, the first topic that we've had in the revised penal code was about simulation of birth certificate. Attorney Karen, I was so quiet about it. I never said it to soul, my goodness, I did a crime. I might not take the bar. But in 2018, I advocated, and I was one of those advocates as well, for the adoption bill. And the adoption law was passed by President Duterte. And in that adoption, it gave us an amnesty for simulation
Yes,
of birth
oo.
certificates.
Buti na lang.
Exactly. And then I processed immediately
Yeah,
the
the
papers.
legal adoption na under
Correct.
the law.
And
Okay.
this is the most crucial part, because in this law, it states that any person can adopt, regardless of your sexual orientation. Because previously, why did I simulate Rain's birth certificate? Because I was not allowed to adopt. When I tried to adopt, the DSW told me, you cannot adopt because you're gay.
I don't remember reading it, the law na nakalagay bawal ang mga gay.
Exactly.
Oo, wala naman sa batas.
But then,
Yeah.
I'm not a good example for
Yeah.
the child. I'm not married now. It should be a family. So many reasons of the DSWD. But in 2018, they were more lenient when it comes to who adopts. And so I'm so happy that the Philippines finally arrived to this point, that really for the betterment of the child and for the best interest of the child, they allowed this. And I was one of those who first got in.
Okay, so since na-mention mo na that you're open to running again in 2028, ano ang gusto mong i-push for na reform should you make it to Congress?
Oh, first, of course, is the inclusivity bill for everyone. And also, maybe because of what's happening right now, there's so many things that we need to push, especially on infrastructure. There should be laws on infrastructure. There should be laws on bidding.
Pero meron na naman, 'di ba? Pero I guess it's just surprising to me that even the department secretary doesn't know until nagkaroon ng ganitong mga exposés na may mga ghost projects ngayon lang nila nalalaman. Parang for me, where did it go wrong? 'Di ba? Na-monitor dapat 'yan, and then you have COA that's supposed to do post audits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know where it really lacks? It's the coordination with the national government, with the local government. And that's why, because of the presidential system of government that we have, it's too centralized. Our government is too centralized that the local government has no power when it comes to national government projects. And that's why sometimes, even if it's not needed by the local government, the national government pours in because the congressman says. And it's not even as effective. That's why we have so many flood control projects that cannot control floods.
Because they don't exist, apparently. Tawag nga na Senator Ping Lacson, guni-guni lang pala.
Ayun na nga, di ba? Kahapon, the president went to Bulacan and saw one. That, a 55 million flood control project just existed in paper, but it doesn't exist in actual reality.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg because we
Exactly.
haven't seen the other infrastructure projects.
And I hope to see the end of this, wherein the people liable will be punished and that the president will be very serious with his words, and then mark it as something that he can, when he leaves the presidency, he will leave a legacy of stopping this kind of corruption.
Thank you so much, Attorney Regal. And para sa mga nanonood natin, hanapin niyo po siya sa Facebook and TikTok.
Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube as well.
Okay, thank you so much,
Thank you,
Attorney Regal.
Attorney
And
Karen.
good to see you again.
Good to see you again. So
Oo.
refreshing.
Yes.
As I've said, you never aged a bit.
Naku, pinapatanda talaga ako. Estudyante pa lang siya noon, ha? Ngayon, lawyer na. Thank you so much.
Thank you.